Josh. I'm a firefighter with the Martinsburg Fire Department. I'm here today with Mason Mills, and we are going to discuss and practice fire safety in the home.
Engine 45, engine 68, battalion 3.
Every day in the United States, thousands of homes and many lives are lost to fire. Worst of all, a large percentage of the victims are small children. A home can be replaced, but not a child. Even if you take all necessary precautions, a fire can still start. And although the fire department can respond to a fire faster and more efficiently today than ever before, it is up to you to practice fire safety, to know how to get you and your family quickly and safely out of the house. And so we've created a little story to help illustrate the need for fire safety, because what you do in those first few minutes can mean the difference between life and death.
So, Mason, today we are going to practice fire safety because Fire Safety Week is coming up October 4th through the 10th. So we're going to practice our Edith drills, which are exit drills in the home, where we look for smoke alarms in our house and we test them. We try to find 2 ways out of each house, fill doors, and we work on having a meeting place. What are some meeting places?
Mailbox, sidewalk, neighbor's house, and tree.
That's right. A meeting place is somewhere where all of our family comes together after getting out of the house in the event of a fire, where we can know that everybody has made it out safely, and we can then call for help. So you ready to go inside?
Yeah.
Here's Uncle Don. He works hard all day, and at night, he likes to sit and read his favorite book, and his favorite comic book.
Uncle Don, our teacher says it's important to have a fire escape plan for our house.
We'll never have a fire.
But look, Uncle Don, we drew this plan so you can see all the doors and windows and stairs.
Oh, that's very nice, but I'm reading now.
And our teacher says we ought to practice Edith.
Edith?
Edith!
It's too late to play with Edith.
No, Uncle John, Edith. Exit drills in the home. The teacher says we ought to have 2 ways out of every room. Yeah, and we got to decide on a place to meet outside.
Yeah, okay. Now run along now and don't bother me.
But Uncle Don, we should install smoke detectors in the hallway, upstairs, and in all the bedrooms. And don't forget, we should put in collapsible ladders upstairs by the bedroom window.
Okay, I will. Tomorrow.
The teacher says we ought to know what to do if our clothes catch on fire. We should stop and cover our face with our hands. And then we should drop. And then we should roll until it fires out.
How many times have I told you not to play on the floor?
We should also have a secondary signal to wake up everybody if there is a fire when we're sleeping.
Well, that's enough! Teacher says.
But Uncle Don!
Go on. Get to bed.
Uncle Don!
Now! Teacher this, teacher that. Fire. We never have one. Those kids.
So, Mason, we're going to pause right here for a second, and we know that in our homes, to stay safe and have an early warning that there's a fire, we need to have what?
A smoke detector.
We have a smoke detector. We put them on each floor of our house and in each bedroom. So as we're going through, let's take note of all these smoke detectors we have in our house. Here's one right there.
You're not doing right with the kids, Buster. You're not doing right with the kids. I said you're not doing right with the kids, Buster. Hey, look at this. He didn't pay any attention at all. Wouldn't even look at the plan. And the signal. I gotta straighten him out. Me? I'm your official fire guide. I'm your common sense. Get it? You're not doing right with the kids. What do you send them to school for, huh? If they shouldn't listen to the teacher, you should have listened to them. They were telling you how to get out of the house.
Get out of my house.
With a fire going on, pal? You're coming with me. You got a lot to learn. First step to fire safety is fire prevention. Let's take a look at that house of yours for a minute. Bedroom upstairs, living room, dining room. Wait a second. We have a problem. You don't have smoke detectors. You gotta have them. Put one in each bedroom and one in the hallway upstairs there. The sound will warn you. You'll be prepared if you have a fire.
A couple of things that we need to know. When we hear the smoke alarm go off, what do we need to do?
To go out of the house.
That's right. We don't want to stand straight up and go running because smoke likes to rise. So all the hot and bad air is going to be up high. So what can we do?
Crawl on the floor.
We're get down real low. So we want to roll out of our bed and we want to crawl to the exits. Now before we open a door that we keep closed at night, we want to feel it with the back of our hand. If it's hot, do we open it? No, we want to go to our second exit. And this is why practicing fire drills is important before we ever have a fire. So in each bedroom, we need to have 2 ways out. For this bedroom, we have our main door that you probably use every day. Or we can go out our window here that goes onto a porch. And you can climb down. But everybody's house is different, so you need to get with your parents and practice what works for your house.
Remember that old freight lamp cord you kept saying you were going to replace but never did? Just suppose that the bare wires touched. That could cause a spark that could get hot enough to start the rug smoldering, might even work up onto the overstuffed chair. This could smolder for a long time. No flames, but a lot of smoke that has poisonous gases in it. Believe it or not, that smoke is what kills more people than anything else in fire. Hot air makes the smoke rise, so the stairway takes it right up to the second floor. But any house is like a big box with a lid on it. So it fills up with smoke from the top down, even in a one-story house. All right, now we'll put you in bed asleep and take a look at what can happen. Look at that. You left the bedroom door open like you always do, so the smoke comes right in from the hall, starts to fill up the room. Like I said, it fills up from the ceiling down, so the top half of the room can get plenty thick in no time. You jump out of bed, smack into it, and bango! A little matter of carbon monoxide, buddy. One of those gases that's mixed in with the smoke. You can't see it, you can't smell it, but it's there. And sometimes just a couple of whiffs can make you groggy, even knock you out. A couple of more whiffs, it could be all over. Matter of fact, the majority of all fire victims die without even having seen the flames. All right, let's say you got out of that one. You had the door closed. Now, a plain old ordinary door can keep out most of the heat and flames for as much as 15, maybe 20 minutes. That's if the door is closed. Naturally, you ought to use normal exits like a door when you can, but always feel it first. If it's hot, you never... Don't open it! This time it's superheated air. One breath and it's curtains again. Hold it. Come on back. Let's say you got out of that one, too. You still got a big problem. Time. There's not much left. The temperature can go up to 1,000 degrees in 3 or 4 minutes where you are because that super hot air is really pouring in. There are still no flames, but the whole room could go up at any second. Quick, close the door. That'll help keep the heat out. But now what do, huh? You do something like trying to save the banjo or Grandpa's picture. Forget them. You gotta get out. Fast. Hey, don't panic. Use the window. Right. That's the only way out, but don't forget, you're on the second floor. Okay, you got the message now? Don't take chances. You're not going to let anything happen to you or the kids because you didn't have a fire plan. gotta have a plan, Pops, a plan. Well, don't just sit there. Do as I tell you. Get the plan the kids made. Pin it up on the wall where everybody can see it. Make notes about the things that are gotta be fixed and replaced around the house. Like that old frayed lamp cord or any other electrical wiring that can be a fire hazard. Put in a connecting door in the room that only opens into the hall. The screens and storm windows, can the kids get them off easily? Make sure the windows open easily, too. Did you put in those collapsible ladders by all the bedroom windows? Okay, you got a smoke detector in each of the bedrooms, too? And you got one in the hallway? Test it and make sure it works. You're doing great. Now get everybody together, talk it over so they all know what to do, and make sure that the kids know not to hide under the bed or in the closet. Kids do that sometimes when they're scared, you know. Okay, now start the Edith drill with the kids in bed. After all, the most dangerous time is when everybody is asleep. Now you go to your bedroom and sound the alarm. Use your secondary signal just to be safe. They should roll out of bed and drop without standing up. Then they should crawl on their hands and knees across the floor because any good air is going to be down low. Tell them to feel the door first, and if it's hot, don't open it. Now they got to go to the alternate exit, the window. Right. Use the collapsible ladder. And go. Okay, now you, pal. Use the secondary escape from your room. Now go around and help the kids down. And you're out, safe and sound. Now that you got everybody out, count noses. Make sure nobody's nose goes back in. Here's where you should all go to a neighbor's phone and call for help as fast as you can. That's it, Pops. You're prepared in case of a fire.
Nice going, Uncle Don. Yeah, now we have a plan.
That's right. And we should practice the Gertrude drill.
Uncle Don,
Huh?
that's the Edith drill. Exit drills in the home.
Right. Well, we should practice the Edith drill at least once a month. Someday it might not be a drill. It might be real.
Suppose our house were different. Maybe a one-story house. And you couldn't figure out how to make a plan.
Well, I'd ask you guys. Thanks to your teacher, you're 3 fire experts now.
Mace, once we make it outside, we need to go to our what?
A meeting.
A meeting spot. And we already said that is some place that our family decides that we're all going to go to. And once we're there, we're going to count noses to make sure everybody has made it out safely. This is important because when the fire department arrives, the first thing we're going to ask is if anybody's still inside. And if you guys can tell us no, and you guys are certain that nobody is still inside because we're all at the meeting place, that makes our job easier. Once we get outside, what's the next thing that we can do to get the fire department to come to our house?
To, not hide.
We don't want to hide when the firefighters look for us. But once we make it outside, there's a phone number we can call to get the fire department to our house.
911.
That's right, we're going to call 911. When we call 911, we're going to need to tell them what's going on and something else. You know what that is?
Address.
The address to our house. So something I want you to work on when you're coming up with your plan is to also learn the address to your house. So we made sure that our door was closed when we go to bed. That's important because a closed door can prevent heat, smoke, and fire from entering our bedroom. Another thing we want to remember is we don't ever want to hide from the firefighters. So if we hear that smoke alarm, do we go under our bed? What about in our closet? That's right, fire can be very scary, but if you do those things, it can be hard for the firefighters to find you.
What if you didn't have us, guys?
Well, I'd call the local fire department. I'm sure they'd be glad to help. Why, they'd even come out here and help me inspect the house.
So Mason, now we're downstairs in our living room, and it's still important that we have 2 ways out, the same that we have 2 ways out of our bedroom. Can you show me what exits we have in this house?
We have that door over there. We have that door right there. We have that window.
That's right. So in this room we have 3 ways out, and that's good because we make sure we have at least 2 ways out of each room that we're going to be in. Could you show me any fire safety hazards that might be in this room?
Toilet paper. Paper towel.
That's right. We have a paper towel above the fireplace. We want to make sure that any flammable objects we keep at least 3 feet away from any sort of heat source. So fireplaces or space heaters, anything that can burn hot enough to catch things on fire. So paper towel is flammable. Are curtains in our house, can they catch on fire? Yeah. What about towels and clothes? Yeah, so these are all things that we will make sure we keep at least 3 feet away from any sort of heat source.
Now you're thinking.
I'm thinking fire safety, thanks to you.
Uncle Don, who are you talking to?
Wait, you mean you don't hear?
So besides making sure that we have a smoke alarm on each level of our house and in each bedroom, we need to make sure they work. There's 2 things that we can do to make sure they work. One thing is we change our batteries every 6 months. There's an easy way to remember this. What are our 2 holidays that we get lots of candy on?
Easter and Halloween.
Okay, so when it's Easter and Halloween, remind your parents to change smoke alarm batteries. And it's very easy. They get the battery that the smoke alarm manufacturer recommends. In most cases, it's going to be a 9-volt battery. And they just put it back here, and there's a picture that shows us how to do it. So once we put the battery in, we can then hang it up on the wall. And we want to make sure that it works. Can you press that clear button?
Oh, well, I was just... well, he's a fireman. Kind of a fireman duck.
A duck?
An invisible duck.
Invisible duck? An invisible duck.
See? I told you.
Some people are so hard to convince.